demolish more and more buildings 3 weeks into their operations. And Okada business still booming in Nigeria despite government restrictions. Elsewhere, Ghana's mobile money transactions has hit nearly $80 billion in the first quarter of the year. These and more coming your way on the news text. It's 2:30 in Banjul. You're watching the news text live on iAfrica TV. And I am Jul Denjai Suare. Now the news in detail. Third week into the operation to clear the streets is becoming a bit more radical with the demolition of buildings considered as obstacles to the free flow of traffic along the Sinchu-Alaji Highway. The police exercise coordinated by the National Road Authority together with local government councils issue warnings for the concerned businesses to voluntarily vacate all unauthorized vicinities. Those found wanting as of Tuesday face legal measures for paying off a deaf ear to the operation. Fatumata Kasim has more of that in this report.
The demolition exercise is becoming more tedious as it approached the most densely populated area in the greater Banjul area. This challenge triggered the issuance of several press releases, mainly from the police, telling the public to walk ahead of time. The operation began officially on the less congested traffic spots in Birkama on July 26, where the police set the benchmark on how the roadside must look henceforth. According to a media release in the mid of July, the road clearing is guided by physical planning in consultation with relevant authorities whose duties are to verify boundaries to prevent the occupation of the road and its pavement. A representative of the National Road Authority, Bakari Mane, said they had conducted a 3-week meeting of affected vendors and shopkeepers on the Monday to relocate them, but some did not take the outrage seriously.
What we are doing today, people who did not comply after 2-3 weeks of physically walking into their stall to tell them we are coming, before we come voluntarily we want you to go out. Majority, 99 or 92% of the sub owners here comply. Those that does not comply, today we started demolishing. We are demolishing, and at the same time, we're conducting arrests, arresting them, taking them to the police for failure not to comply. That is what is happening right now.
Those whose structures are found encroached into the road would have the physical planning verifying their permit documents, without which the bulldozing is inevitable.
Before this exercise, myself, what I thought is everybody that built, especially this expensive building, they have permit. You'll be very surprised. Since we started this operation, only few produced the development permit. So the rest, they are all just building. People are just building without a permit. Majority of them, they don't have a permit. We were blaming physical planning of doing this, but what we are seeing on the ground, most of these compound owners or the building owners don't even know. All they produce when we say your building permit is the compound document that they produce. That means it's not officially authorized for them to build. So they built on their own. That's what we witness on the ground. So in essence, is the habit of the people. People are just ignorant about the law. People don't follow about the law. People don't listen. People don't even want to know where their rights start and where their rights end.
The road occupation, due to the growing nature of petty trading in canteens and sales outlets, is greatly responsible for the daily jump in traffic and other health hazards along all major highways in the Greater Banjul and West Coast region. This view was sounded by one Usman Jai, who believed that people should look into their attitude as citizens and give the law a due regard.
Operation B is wonderful because I'm very impressed.
This is wonderful, and I am very impressed with it. When I saw this, I was surprised because the way the roads are tight, business owners will put their business on the roadside, which is very risky and causes traffic congestion, which should not happen. because the traffic should be free. It's only in the Gambia that the roads are small and the country is developing. If you go to other countries like Mali, the roads are very big. Why not the Gambia? This small country should be regulated because this country should have a direction, and it's not whoever wants to do business should come on the roadside and do whatever you want. What the PIU is doing is very good because the roadside will be free and open. This only means that this was the reason why the traffic is always congested, which is very important. We should rectify ourselves as citizens and know the law is not in our hands and that you cannot just come and put a table on the roadside.
The police maintain that the operation Clear the Roads is designed to improve road safety and allow free flow of traffic. Together with road safety and development stakeholders, the police operation wages relocation and demolishment orders on all subject of traffic obstruction by all means. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Fatma Qasim.
Operation Clear the Roads intensifies their efforts there. Now the increase in the number of coronavirus cases is the challenge the world is facing, despite all measures placed to erase the virus from walking on the land. As of this week, the Gambia has recorded nearly 200 daily new COVID-19 cases, totaling 8,000 to 9,000 cases since the outbreak of the virus in the country last year. Khadijatu Seka has the latest.
Cases of the coronavirus have been in the increase since the third wave hits West Africa in different patterns. The World Health Organization believes that the spread of the Delta variant is a contributor to the current statistics, including cases of deaths across the African continent. The latest national situation report showed a total number of 8,922 confirmed cases, with 251 deaths in the name of the Gambia. 32 patients are currently on oxygen therapy. According to reports, less than 2% of the continent's population is fully vaccinated due to inequitable distribution of the vaccine. China and the United States have been responding to the given situation with the distribution of millions of doses of the COVID-19 vaccine in Africa. As of 8 August, the number of confirmed cases in Africa amounted to over 7 million, representing about 3% of the infections around the world. And the world at large has recorded more than 200 million cases, with over 4 million deaths related to the coronavirus. Khadijatu Seka, iAfrica News.
Now with that story, we head straight to Nigeria because Okada remains popular in Nigeria despite the restrictions imposed on the motorcycle taxi for safety reasons. The Lagos state government placed restrictions on the operation of these commercial bikes to certain road safety due to road safety issues last year. Detail in this report.
You just can't miss their ubiquitous presence in Lagos. Commercial motorcyclists, or better still, Okada, as they are popularly known across Nigeria. For them, the more the traffic jams in Lagos, the better for business. Aliu Usman has been a rider for over 2 years now.
Without Okada, businesses will suffer in this city. For instance, with Okada, delivery goods from the mainland to the island sometimes will be almost impossible. So we are here to help businesses.
Last year, the Lagos state government placed restrictions on operations of Okada in parts of the city, citing road safety concerns. Despite the restrictions, Usman says he's still able to do at least 10 trips a day and even make more money, up to $20 a day.
Before the restriction, there were so many Okadas. The population of riders was high. Then I used to make around 4,000 naira and 5,000 naira a day. But with the restriction, I take a lot of risk to keep riding, and now I make around 8,000 naira on a daily basis.
Indeed, the restrictions have reduced the number of Okadas on the roads in Lagos, and residents are talking about it.
The ban on Okada, in a way, it has affected me negatively, so to say. And what I mean is that in a situation whereby you need to meet up with some appointments to so many places, when you board bus, traffic here and there, but when you when you board a bike, board Okada, you get there very fast and without stress. But this time around, when there's a ban on it, discover that you have to plan yourself, you have to stay extra hours on the road, which is really not good for business.
It has advantage and its own disadvantage. The advantage of like cost of accidents, the way they run, it has reduced. And the disadvantage there is just that it has affected movement in times of when there is traffic and the means of you just getting to where you are going to fastly is by taking bike. So it has affected it.
Well, even as journalists, we also use Okada to be able to beat the traffic around the city and get to our assignment venues in good time. So somehow you just need them. There's no way you can do without these guys in this city. Usman knows that very well, and that's what is keeping thousands of Okada riders like him in this city in business, and of course putting food on their tables.
Okada business is still booming in Nigeria despite government restriction. Now the tourism industry in Uganda is the hardest hit as the second wave of the coronavirus global pandemic continues to ravage the country. The industry registered revenue loss close to 73% in the last 2 years alone due to the COVID-19 pandemic. More of that in this report.
Gerald Katongole is going over his bookings. Some visitors have cancelled, while others are rescheduling their travel plans. He blames this situation on the second wave of COVID-19, which hit the country 2 months ago.
You wouldn't really convince some tourists to still come to the country after hearing of a lockdown. Some really did not come, so they cancelled. Those that were already in the country, we managed to work with them.
Katongole says he has lost about $5,000 in cancellations in the last 2 months alone. Government figures show that tourism revenues have dropped by 73% in the last 2 years because of the pandemic. And in order to make up some of the shortfall in revenue, the government is trying to promote domestic tourism. The Ugandan government has launched a campaign dubbed Take on the Pearl, which is designed to attract more Ugandans to the national parks.
Government has intensified promotional campaigns specifically to promote domestic tourism, to attract more Ugandans to visit Uganda, but also to attract other international markets.
The government is also handing out tax incentives and low-interest loans to tour companies.
Uganda Development Bank was capitalized by government to extend low-interest credit to tourism enterprises. These interest rates offered by UDB are about half the rates availed to private businesses by other commercial institutions within the country.
The government also hopes that COVID-19 vaccines will help bring confidence back to the travel industry. Just 1 million people out of 22 million have been vaccinated so far, making hopes of a return to normal elusive. The key will be
reasons you should consider this great housing opportunity. With a clubhouse, a playground, access roads, and parking facilities available for your dream home,
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the news text coming to you live on iAfrica TV, and I am Juldenjai Suare. Now to the rest of our stories. The British Petroleum has settled the outstanding $1.5 billion commitment to drill Gambia's mineral wealth, the Petroleum Ministry announced on Tuesday. The Gambia government awarded BP the license to drill an exploration well at the A1 block in 2019. Amindao tells us more of that in this report.
After a well drilled by Australia's FAR Limited ended hopeless in 2018, the Gambia government entered into a petroleum exploration, development and production license agreement with the British Petroleum. In effecting this, a joint operation agreement was signed with the Gambia owing 15% upon discovery of oil in the A1 block. The government settles for this percentage following an estimated 1 billion barrels of oil drillable from the well in question. Major progress had not been registered in the drilling plan, which government blamed on the outbreak of COVID-19 last year.
In July 2020, BP informed the Minister of Petroleum and Energy that it would not be able to drill a well in the A1 block due to change in its corporate strategy towards low carbon energy. In accordance with the license terms, if there are unfulfilled obligations, BP will be obligated to pay to the government the difference between the agreed work commitment and the performed work commitment.
The government spokesperson added in a media release on Tuesday that BP has now fulfilled all its license obligations and the A1 block will revert to the government.
Consequently, BP undertook the outstanding amounts of $1.5 billion as well as the balances of training, resources and rentals due to the Gambia government. Therefore, BP has fulfilled all its license obligations and the A1 block will revert to the government free of all income branches. With BP's exit, the A1 block will now be on the market for licensing.
The hope that there is oil in the Gambia is premised on the geological research of seismic data, which helps to determine the location of oil and gas reservoirs. The A1 block is one of two that the Gambian government stripped from Norwegian-listed African Petroleum Corporation in 2017, saying the license had expired and that the company had failed to meet contractual obligations. Amindao for iAfrica News.
The British Petroleum has settled an outstanding $1.5 billion commitment to drill Gambia's mineral wealth. Now, in the face of the global health crisis, Ghana's mobile money transactions has hit nearly $80 billion in the first half of the year. Since its introduction in the country in 2019 or in 2009 rather, many organizations have migrated to the option of mobile money transactions. According to the Central Bank of Ghana, customers will now go for the services regardless of the communication network. Details in this report.
Owen Obodai does not worry when people want to buy an appliance from his shop and do not have cash. He has signed up for a mobile money system which allows customers to make payments by transferring money from their mobile phone onto his.
When people use mobile money to pay, it makes it easier for me. I don't need to hold cash around.
Mobile money transaction was introduced in Ghana in 2009. It took a couple of years to be accepted in the country due to lack of regulation by Ghana Central Bank. Now, nearly 15 million people are registered with the service, which has made it more convenient to deposit and transfer money, unlike going to the bank.
The point of inflection happened at the point where the guidelines and the regulations came in. And I think another good thing also that happened was that Bank of Ghana, the regulator, was very collaborative in, coming up with the guidelines and coming up with the regulations to the point when the Payment Systems and Services Act was passed in 2015.
3 telecommunications networks operate mobile money services in Ghana. MTN has the largest share of subscribers of nearly 10 million. Ghana Central Bank says mobile money transactions have hit nearly $80 billion in the first half of this year.
The uptake in transactions is linked to the introduction of a platform that allows people to transfer money from one mobile money account to another across all telecommunications networks. Other platforms have also been created by fintechs, which allow people living abroad to send remittances to their relatives in Ghana through their mobile money accounts.
Analysts say more innovations are needed to boost mobile money services in Ghana.
I believe that the future for mobile money is very bright. What we need to happen is that government needs to allow the space for it to be able to flourish, whilst it provides the regulatory framework that guides it, so that we are protecting the consumer but allowing innovation to take place.
Owen Obodai agrees. While mobile money services have improved financial inclusion in Ghana, he wants telecommunications companies to enhance their systems to speed up the rate of transactions.
Mobile money transactions gaining momentum in Ghana in the face of the global health crisis. Now that story from Ghana brings us to the end of the news text. But for more of these and others, you can join us in our subsequent news bulletins. Many thanks indeed for the pleasure of your company, and do have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.